The way that the sun is out later in the day, it's only day one, but I feel a million times better coming home with the sun barely setting, the natural light in peeping through. Can y'all tell I am a spring girly? Hey friends, it's Teresa and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be me trying to figure out how to adjust the light. Better. But today's video is going to be me discussing my thoughts on Chloe and the Kaishao Boys by Mai Kyuto. I have quite a lot of thoughts on this. It's an arc that I received and it is currently out now. It just came out March 7th, so last 10th was Friday, Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday, so last Tuesday. Yeah, let's just kind of get into it because I have a lot of things to talk about and I'm very excited for this book, and yeah. I'm also like trying to finish, like not film super fast, but just try to film in try to film this video in a more succinct way because now the lighting's changing. In a more succinct way because my tattoo is in desperate need of a wash. It is itchy. I need to be in shorts and not a long flowing skirt. So it's not because I hate this book or I don't want to film this video. I'm just very itchy because she's scabbing over. But let's discuss what the book is first about. The synopsis of the book. Chloe and the Kaishao Boys is a YA contemporary novel following young Chloe as she is about to graduate high school. Her aunt is planning her debut, and she is about to move to the States from the Philippines to attend college in California where her mom currently resides. In an attempt to get her to stay in the Philippines and just run with the family business, her dad agrees to let her aunt, his sister, plan some like blind dates and set her up with some boys in the neighborhood and see if that'll convince her to stay, because nothing makes a young girl stay and give her dreams behind than young boys. But the three of them are like, one of them is like her crush, one of them is her best friend's brother. I forget the other one because he was very, very minor in the story. Like I don't even remember who the heck he is. How minor he is. And now she kind of has to deal with the weird like in between of like being interested in these boys, being mortified, but also trying to tell her dad that this is the dream that she wants to pursue. She wants to become an animator, and it's not just something that, you know, she wants to do as a hobby and hope that it becomes big enough for her to become a career. This is her plan A, and it's her only plan that she wants to do. Moving on to the first thought that I had with this book, I was really excited for this book. I got this from Penguin Teen, so thank you very much for Penguin Teen for giving me an arc. I saw this like because I get an email list of all the new releases that are coming out, so I saw this and I was like, Chinese Filipino, living in the Philippines, planning a debut, all the things that I like wish I had the chance to enjoy growing up, having moved to the States and not having enough money or friends for a debut. Granted, I also don't think I would like a debut, but you know, it's just the thought that's there. And just seeing kind of like the culture that's going to be in the Philippines, specifically in a Chinese Filipino lens, as I am just Filipino. So I was very interested to see how the cultural differences were, if there were any differences in the food, or like how family relations were. I was very intrigued by that. But I was very excited by this. I wanted to see more of that. I also was intrigued to see the relationship unfold as to what Chloe ended up choosing from her Kaishao boys. Let's start off with the good things because I do have quite a lot of good things to talk about, which is great considering, you know, I don't think I've given a lot of Filipino authored books like anything below maybe like a 3. I think the one that I ended up giving maybe like a 3 was that Vampires in Portlandia book, and then Patron Saints of Nothing. But I think I gave Patron Saints either like a 3 or a 4. But, you know, it means I haven't hated a book authored by a Filipino, which might be some of my bias playing into it, or it could just be the fact that we are great authors and we need to be out there more. As for good things, this book had me all up in the feels. I was super just like, I understood everything that Chloe was going through, having been a child of parents who want you to do one thing, but you end up wanting to do another thing. I just loved all the warm and fuzzy feelings that it made me feel when I was reading the book, seeing how close she was with her dad, how close she was with her mom, and how close, like somewhat close she was with her other family members, and just that like sense of like community that's like, it's obligatory for like the weekly dinners or lunches in her case, and like the church things, but at the same time all of the things that are just like so like like central to Filipino culture, which is like the family aspect and spending time with the family. It made me feel all the things, to see these relationships play out and to see these friendships grow, like solidify themselves. And it was just so, like, it made me feel all the warm and fuzzy things inside that I was like, oh, a healthy family dynamic. Oh my god. I also really enjoyed her relationship with both her dad and her mother. Like I said, I like that her dad, he wanted to support her, he wanted her to be all these things, but he didn't quite know how to express it, and he was also scared of her going forward into this field and like not knowing what to do, how to handle herself, and just wanting her to be successful, but not knowing that his version of success might be different from her version. And I loved her relationship with her mom. She had a very minor role in the book, but I loved seeing her pop up on the FaceTime calls, because then we get to see her be supportive. She wanted Chloe to do the things that she thought was going to be best for Chloe. She wanted Chloe to do the things that Chloe loved doing. And she was like, if this is something you want to do, I will support you no matter what, whether it's animation, whether it's staying in the Philippines and helping dad out with his shop, or if it's a bajillion other things that you decide you want to do. I just want you to do it because you are happy, because it'll make you happy and content on the inside. And that made me so happy to see a parent, like, not blindly support their child, but support her in a way that was wholesome and unselfish. Not saying that how her father was saying it was selfish, but it just felt like she had a better idea. Because she lived in the West, she lived in America, she kind of had like a different view on what it is to be successful and what it is to do the things that you love. And it was just like, not that it was a wrong view, but it was still like, I love seeing those differing views of like her dad wanting to support her, but wanting her to be successful and to be better taken care of, and not knowing how to support her, and her mom being, you know, like being in America and having those privileges and having the ability to like take a step back and see that your kid is going to be successful no matter what. To have like that, those like two differing versions of like what support looks like, and they're neither wrong or right. And it was just like, I enjoyed seeing both of them play out, and both of them kind of come to that understanding that Chloe will do what Chloe needs to do, and that's okay. I have read quite a handful of coming-of-age novels recently, and I really enjoyed this one because it didn't take itself too seriously. There are a lot of coming-of-age novels nowadays that I feel like it's like too focused on the fact that they're turning 18. That they're too focused on the fact that they're supposed to be making adult decisions now, and that with these adult decisions there's going to be a lot of mistakes and bumps in the heads and just unfun things in general, or just having them deal with some very serious topics that they shouldn't have to deal with. I like that this one didn't take itself too seriously. Like, yes, there were serious conversations about what Chloe wanted, her imposter syndrome, how she wished she and her dad could discuss things and be open 100% without closing up in the middle of the conversation, or the fact that there are these walls that are built between Chinese and in this novel. I can't speak to the actual rep because, you know, again, I live in America, I'm only Filipino, and I've never been into a Chinese Filipino community in the Philippines. But I enjoyed the fact that we had these conversations that kids are going to do things that parents might not know about, that they might be uncomfortable with, but they have to kind of grow and change, or that like there's this divide between, in this, like I said, in this novel, of like Chinese Filipino citizens wanting their kids to be with Chinese Filipino kids only, and not wanting them to expand beyond that, and the difficulties that it is and that it brings to the kids when it's time for them to find partners and find love and do all the things. But at the same time, there were moments of like just sweet, funny, and like lighthearted moments that like broke the ice a little bit with that, but it wasn't so obviously there to break the ice that it was too hard. It was like a very, it like kind of popped out in your face. I like the fact that there was lighthearted moments intertwined with the serious moments, which is very much what life is. And I think because the book was so lighthearted, it lent to a lot more instances where we could have those serious discussions and it wasn't doom and gloom. It felt more hopeful and more modern, I guess, or progressive, where it didn't feel like the parents were going to shut down because one kid came out as gay or bi, or it's going to shut down because one kid decided to date someone before, or decided to go to America or the States instead of staying at home. It was just all these different things that I think it allowed for those like discussions without going over the top or having to like really like hammer in it. You got to see these glimpses of seriousness within the lightheartedness, and it was very entertaining for me, and I really enjoyed it. I love it when coming of age novels can do this, because this is meant for a younger audience. They're not going to want to have these deeper discussions quite yet, but they want them in their, they're gonna want these deeper discussions, but not in the way that adult novels do, where it's a long drawn out process. They want it like in very like, they want to be able to trust the adults around them. They want to be able to trust the authority figures that are going to like take a look at it and look at it from a bigger picture and be like, you know, this is my kid, I'm gonna love my kid, but like understand that maybe, you know, they made mistakes and that their kid doesn't want to open up right now. I really just enjoyed the lighthearted aspects of this novel. I felt like it did a really good job balancing those serious conversations and those growing up moments to the more lighthearted, fun, enjoyable moments that you get to see kids go through as they're like in this last year of high school, about to enter a decision that'll inevitably change how they view the world for the rest of their lives. I like seeing Chloe kind of contemplate the aspects of her decisions. If she were to go out and stick her like her head out everywhere and like stick her neck out for this process that she wants, for this life that she wants, or if she wants to take the safe way out and just stay at home with her dad and help run the business, and kind of figuring out which version of herself she wants to live with for the rest of her life, and whether or not this version is one that she can enjoy, or that this is what she actually wants. She wants to feel the rush she did when she animates. She wants to enjoy all the things that come with having to stick your neck out there. She wants to just like be her own person that isn't tied down to her family. And while she's very thankful for her father's business, it's not the one that she wants to have. It's not the legacy she wants to create for herself. And I really enjoyed that. I love seeing her do the teenage struggle of like deciding that maybe the easy way out is the good way out, but then also coming back and being like, it is easy, but that's not what I want. I've worked too hard to have this be the only way that I get to enjoy life right now. So I really enjoyed those aspects of that book, and I like that we got to see it done in such a way that's framed around her animation and all the things. It was just a fun, lighthearted coming of age novel, and that it was not boring or hard for me to get through. It wasn't dense or too young. It was just like the right amount, and I think which is going to be really good for an audience that is kind of stuck in the in-between of like figuring out what you want to do in life. The only negative thing that I have is more nitpicking. I felt like the love interest aspect of it probably was a little bit unnecessary. Like, we knew off the bat who she's going to choose. It was like pretty obvious, to me at least, in the beginning who she was going to end up choosing, and then as the book progressed I really wanted to see more from them, and it was kind of cut short toward the end of the novel before she before she starts her next journey in life, whatever that may be, that they weren't present. I just felt like if that was the case, then we probably could have had her not end up with anybody after the fact, and it probably wouldn't have changed the trajectory of the ending. That was just kind of the little thing for me where I was like, it's both too obvious, but because it was so obvious I was expecting more to come from it, but because we didn't get more, you probably could have written it in a way that had her just be single and we wouldn't have lost out on much. Moving on to my overall thoughts and what I recommend, I did give this a 4 out of 5 stars. The reason why I didn't give it the full 5 was mainly because of the nitpicky thing that I had thought about. Like I said, I think that it would have been just a great coming of age novel without the romance aspect in it, considering how the book ended, / if we had continued on with the romance aspect of it to kind of include it more toward the end, because it just kind of got like dropped off at the middle there. We just kind of had to accept it for what it was. But I really enjoyed this book. I would for sure give this a good recommend. It will be joining the shelf of Filipino novels that is slowly growing on here. I have to rearrange some things because there's literally like a Filipino author like here, not in this shelf, but she needs to be. So I'm really excited to add that to my collection when I can finally purchase it. But that is it for my review of Chloe and the Kaishao Boys. I want to say Kaishao, but I'm pretty sure it's Kaishao. Chloe and the Kaishao Boys by May Kyoto. If you guys want to see me do more reviews, let me know in the comments down below. I try to do them once a month. If you guys want me to focus on a specific book or read it for the next coming months, let me know. But until next time, hit like, subscribe, and comment, and I'll talk to you guys in my next video. Bye!